Welcome to Android tutorial. Today we are going to discuss ListView, view holder and cursor adapter. Let's go to Android Studio and see first view holder. Subscribe to my YouTube channel Unisys. So before explaining this view holder, I need to explain how to convert the Android system, how it converts the XML file into Java understandable format. So then only when you code, that language is Java, and we can refer these views in coding. So we have an XML file here. So linear layout, and it has 3 text views. Look at here, we have 3 text views, and these text views are child of the layout. See, this layout is view group class, and these views are child of this layout class. So when app is launched, it creates the instance of this layout, XML file layout, that is view group class class object, and it creates the instance for the all 3 text view class objects. Let's see here, it creates the object for this linear layout, and also it creates the object for memory for object of this text view class, and this one, second one, emp name text view class, id is emp name, and third one, emp name text view class. And this will have, this object have address here, that object address here, it creates the node called like this. Whenever it creates the linear layout object, it has address. At that address, it has a node. In that node, first part is memory allocated for the layout object, that is view class object, and it has 2 bytes for storing the address of the emp number text view class object. The id is emp number, and it stores the address of the next text view object, and it stores the address of the next text view object. So this node will be like stores on the disk like this. So when we refer, see, when from activity we have set content view, there we give the layout. So when it sees the set content view statement, it creates the object for this layout, and it gives it that address of this node will be assigned over there to the object of linear class object, that is view class object. It will have address of this node. Then when you see the find view by id r.id emp number, through this address it accesses this address, that is find view by id r.id.emp number. It will have it returns the address of this emp number, that is this address we see when you open the R.file. We see this address is stored in this node, and it can be accessed through this layout object. So like this it happened. And come to the list view, when we inflate the row in that new view on callback method, when we inflate the row, it creates the object for the first row and it creates this node, and it will have the address, it will have corresponding child views objects address over here. When you refer it, we comes through this parent object and gets the address of this views, that is childs of this parent. So this is the way it stores it. When it comes to the list view, it stores in a separate pool to handle the list view rows. So when it comes first, it creates the object and creates the node and stores the address of the childs. When comes to second row, what it does, it the same. It creates the one more object for the layout, XML file layout, and stores like this here in second node, and it will have the object of the address of that object here. So it is so on. For example, my device I can see 10 rows in a daytime. I can see the 10 rows on the device. For example, my screen size is so 10 rows can be viewed on the list view. So when it comes to the 11th row, what it does, till 10th row, it creates the new object for the linear layout, but when it comes to 11th row, it don't create the new object. Instead, it sends the address of this first row object. See, so this object is recycled, and when we scroll down to the, when scroll down and when it processes the 11th record, and first record will be disappeared in the screen. So the first record, that is first row address of that node will be given to us, and through that address object we access the address of the corresponding child views. Like this, when it processes when I see the 12th record, it returns the recycled, so it returns the row 2 address of this object will be delivered to us, and like the so on. 8, 13 is third row. So we have 100 records in the list view, and say this is 100 bytes, and it takes the 1000 bytes. Only 1000, this is 100 bytes, and 10 objects is created, so it allocates only 1000 bytes of, uses the 1000 bytes of memory. But 100 records normally it requires 10,000 bytes, so it saves the memory. So ListView internally this handles the memory like this, so that it saves the memory and less memory and better performance. And Android runs on the small device like mobile, so it requires this type of memory management, so our performance will be very high. So one more thing, and first time I process the first row record to set the value to the emp number, something like 5704. What I do, I go to this address, access the linear layout object, then through that object I get the address of the text view emp number, and when I get the object of this text view emp number, I set text to the 5704. So when it is recycled and when it comes to 11th record, again I need to go through the address layout of the the object of linear layout and gets the address. So instead of when you are recycled, so I don't want to, if I don't go through that process, so I